Prediction number one. There may be less competition for higher priced homes.
Huh?
With mortgage rates on the rise, this prediction is suggesting that because interest rates are going up, I actually heard somebody talking about rates that hit 6%, 6.5%, when they thought of selling close to 7%. Now that's cray-cray based on the fact that rates have been wandering in the 3s and 4s for the past 3 to 4 years. Right? So they're saying that higher price homes are going to be less competitive in the upper space.
Check, 1 2 1 2.
Turn it up.
Welcome to the Foreclosure Deals Coach Podcast.
The tides are turning. The time is now.
Your home for the mindset, methodology, and tools needed to invest in foreclosures.
Don't you dare buy a house. Buy a deal. You need to get into this right now.
Yeah.
And now your host, the Foreclosure Deals Coach, Donny Corum.
Hello, and welcome back to the Foreclosure Deals Coach Podcast. I am your host and Foreclosure Deals Coach, Donny Corum, recording live from our downtown studios with my executive producer and all-around badass, Mr. Jonathan Winston.
Hey.
You weren't expecting
Am I a joke to you? What is this?
What am I, funny? Clown how? How am I funny?
What's up, guys? I don't have a joke off the top of my head, but you know,
funny,
we're here. We're here, and we're ready to do it.
I love it. All right, let's get to it. We got 20 minutes to get through this. Let's do it. Hey, quick housekeeping note. If you haven't already, I need you to hop on and join the Foreclosure Deals Coach Insiders Facebook group. That's going to be a great place for us to start to network and answer some of your questions. We are definitely looking to add some coaching students here in this season. We're getting some people kind of through the system, graduating on the back end. So we've got some slots available. If you want to get started in foreclosure deals coaching and do your first flip with us, reach out to Jonathan Winston. We'll get you started. All right. With that, Market Watch published a pretty cool article, actually, talking about the 4 predictions for the housing market in 2022. That was not the right one. Hold on. Ain't either.
Pink one.
Is it the pink one? We're still working on the sound effects. Oh, there it is.
Prediction.
Let's do that one more time. The 4 predictions of the housing market in 2022.
Oh, yes.
You ready? All right. We're having a lot of fun with sound effects today. Let's get to it. Prediction number 1. There may be less competition for higher priced homes.
Huh?
With mortgage rates on the rise, this prediction is suggesting that because interest rates are going up, I actually heard somebody talking about rates that hit 6%, 6.5%, when they thought of selling close to 7%. Now that's cray-cray based on the fact that rates have been wandering in the 3s and 4s for the past 3 to 4 years. Right? So they're saying that higher price homes are going to be less competitive in the upper space. I would agree with them, but let's break that down. Why is that the case? Well, let's say a higher price home in your market is $700,000. Okay? If you are at 4% interest, your interest, before we start talking about principal payments, okay, would be $2,300 a month. When you add principal payments on that, you're probably about $4,000 a month, give or take, right?
Okay.
If rates go up to 7% on that same $700,000 home, the interest alone obviously is going to double. But now you're at $4,000 a month plus the principal payment, so you're pushing $6,000, maybe even $6,500 a month for the exact same home. So it is logical that if a guy was going to struggle to make a $4,000 a month payment, and not really struggle, obviously anybody buying a $700,000 home is probably doing pretty well financially.
Ready for it.
They're doing okay, right? But when that same loan quote comes in at $6,500,
that's a little bit different.
Old boy looks at his wife and says, "We need to start looking at the 5s, baby.
Ooh.
We got to start looking at the 5s because we got this 700 stuff ain't gonna work." That's an extra $2,500 a month being taken out of your pocket that you got to try to cover because of your mortgage payment, right?
And, you know, there are people out there who can potentially swing those increases and swing that amount of money. But for your general home buyer and the people that are out there right now, you know, seeing that change year on year.
Right.
That's definitely going to be pretty alarming and pretty shocking to some people. So
it is, and it impacts the lower end market less. Where the interest is going up, the payment's going up, but obviously it's not a $2,000 swing, right? So you're going to see an increase across the board when rates go up, but it's going to impact the more expensive homes sooner, right? Less buyers in that market. Is that necessarily a bad thing? Well, it's a double-edged sword. In one sense, yes, if you're doing upper-end remodels, you're doing flips at the higher bracket, you got less buyers who want your home. That just means you got to adjust your days on market strategy. Okay. If you were counting on it selling in 4 days, like the entry-level market has for the last 2 years or so, you might not want to do that anymore. It may take 30 to 60 days to sell an upper-end home. Will it still sell? Don't get it twisted. Every house in history has sold or will sell at some point. That's just reality, right? And it don't matter what interest rates are doing. Somebody's going to buy that house. Now, they may not buy it for what you want to sell it for. If rates are too high, they may be like, well, it was $700,000 last year when it was 4%, but this year, best I could offer you is $600,000.
Sorry, buddy.
Right. So that's going to put pressure on that upper end market and slow it down, which probably should have happened anyway. Because when the median price of Denver homes is hitting $733,000, that's a normal home. That's not a luxury home. So your luxury in Denver is 1.1, 1.2 to get started in luxury home, upper end home. Right? That's not even luxury. Luxury is pushing $2 million, $2.5 million in Denver. Right? So upper end is like $1 million, $1.2 million. That interest rate hit's going to have a big difference on the buying power in that area. Okay, so just factor that in. You're going to own the home longer if you're flipping it. You might not be able to rent it for what your payment is if you're planning on keeping it as a hold, which makes a lot of upper end homes less desirable. You always got the Airbnb route, but now you've got a higher payment you got to deal with because rates are higher.
Right.
So for all those reasons, you're going to see some struggles in that market. Let's move on. All right. Prediction number 2. Rising mortgage rates may force some buyers out of the market.
No.
I know. But it's true. And it kind of ties into prediction 1. So Market Watch was slipping a little on that. That's kind of the same thing, right?
They got to stretch it out. They need some content.
Writers are like, I got 3 articles today.
Come on, man.
I got to pay the kids. Feed the kids. Obviously rates go up. The guy that was borderline anyway, he's buying his first time home, right? He could just barely qualify for the entry-level price home in the market, $500,000 in our market. And now rates go up a percentage point, and he can't get $400,000. He may even dip down to $380. And the harsh reality in the Colorado Springs market is unless you're going to go townhome, you're not getting anything below $400,000 right now. Right? And it may be quite some time before you do. Now, that sucks if you're a lot of people. I love the Facebook groups. Yeah, I grew up here, and now I can't even afford to buy a place in my own hometown. Nobody cares, bro. You didn't keep up with the income as things were elevating. I was supposed to feel bad for you because you didn't buy a house back in the day when they're going for. If you grew up here, you of all people,
you should have bought a house, bro.
Right? You saw it at $250 and didn't buy it. I'm supposed to feel bad for you now that it's $400, $500? No, I don't feel bad for you. Right? I bought one of my first houses for $160,000. Now you can't get a closet here for $160,000.
Right.
Right? So if you didn't get to the market, that's a problem. But because rates are going to go up, people who would have bought may never get to buy. And 2 years ago, I said that on this show, maybe a couple of times. If you don't buy something now, there's a good shot you ain't never going to be able to. And now here we are. Because incomes have certainly not kept pace with the acceleration in prices on real estate in this city, right? We're not making that much more money because if we were, there'd be Lamborghinis and Ferraris like a daily thing like you see in Miami where it's baller central everywhere. Colorado Springs ain't ready for all that. I'm going to bring it here anyway. But they ain't ready for all that, right? So that's prediction number 2. A lot of buyers will be kicked out of the market. We kind of knew that was coming. You should have bought something earlier. I don't feel bad for you. You should have gotten in the game. Prediction 3. Home prices will keep going up, but growth will slow somewhat.
Okay. These are okay.
Yeah, we got to go with the content we got. I didn't write this stuff.
Cool. Good job, Market Watch.
As as always, do like to give credit where credit is due. If you want to see the article itself, hop on to the Foreclosure Deals Coach Insiders group. We'll get that posted in there, but let's do this one. Home prices will keep going up, but growth will slow somewhat. Well, duh, right? I mean, in the end, if home prices keep going up, that's logical, but we can't keep going up 12 to 14% a year.
Right.
That's dumb, right? And the fact that we did in general was dumb. And the real concern, if you keep inflating a market by pumping money into the market at that pace, oh, we're out of money, let's just print another couple $1 trillion, right? It's inevitable that at some point you're going to bubble out, bubble pops, market crashes. Slowing down that growth is actually the best thing for us, right? Going from a 12, 15% appreciation in some markets, 20 or 30%, down to a 5 to 6% normal appreciation is just good business. Right? So we're not going to see the extreme years. Market Watch nailed that one. We're already kind of seeing that. And I'm good with it, to be honest with you. It was really cool to get some hyper appreciation. I got to watch houses that I bought for $400,000, sort of $900,000 million in value. It's been a hell of a rodeo, right? But it can't keep pace with it. It can't keep pace like this. It's got to slow down, right? Let's go to the next one, shall we? Prediction 4. Some employees may face difficult decisions about returning to work in person, and that may impact their housing choices. What does that even mean? That's my show. I got to do something with that. All right, let's do this. All right. It ain't Market Watch's fault. Their writers suck.
I mean, that we've talked about it before as far as people, remote working now.
Right.
I have offices in my house and,
right.
a little bit more space so I can not be sitting on top of my wife
right.
when she's nagging me. But, based on the prices, I feel like the normal home buyer is probably was probably having to settle on potential things like that anyway.
I agree. Yeah, that's not a new change. That's not a prediction. That's a current, right? We knew that I don't know if we knew that teleworking was going to take off at this pace. I think we learned a lot about telework as a result of coronavirus.
For sure.
And the harsh reality is a lot of companies are like, I'm not sure there's any reason to keep paying for office space for y'all. Right? Yeah. If we can maintain the same amount of productivity, and why would productivity suffer if you didn't go to work? Let's face it, a lot of human beings just are not self-starters. But now they can see when you log into your own computer. They got cameras that can watch you when you're sitting at your screen. They can monitor your calls. It's not much different than you coming to the office because they can see all the same stuff. It's just happened to be happening in your living room.
Right. You don't have to get all gussied up. Just go sit down on the couch.
I'm not wearing pants now.
Which I'm uncomfortable with.
I didn't explain myself to you. This is my show, baby. Just because you're a Foreclosure Deals coach, man.
Bro.
I go in when I want. Or
it's
nothing.
A joke. He's wearing pants. I wouldn't stand for that.
Says you. All right. Hi, this is Donny Corum, your Foreclosure Deals Coach. One question I'm asked all the time is, how do I get started in real estate investing? Here's the thing. In order to get into the game, you got to have access to the big data that drives the real estate market. After all, you wouldn't trade stocks without a trading platform, and you shouldn't get started in investing in real estate without DealHunter.io. DealHunter.io is an application that I use daily to find the best deals in the real estate market, to provide that information to my lending partners so I can fund those deals, to know how to fix those deals, to bring them in line with the market, and most importantly, how to sell those deals at a profit. So if you're looking to get started in real estate investing, head on out to DealHunter.io and sign up for a free 7-day trial of the Propstream application that'll separate you from other competitors of the real estate market. With that, this is Donny Corum from DealHunter.io reminding you, don't buy a house, buy a deal. So yeah, I think the telework thing is going to impact the real estate market this year, perhaps more than ever. The biggest impact to that, I think, is going to be the big cities, right? Whereas before it was super beneficial to work in the heart of downtown Denver because I was a block or two away from my office. I could just walk there from my condo, and I loved that fact. If companies don't have people come to work right there in the center of the cities, the condo market, the high-rise condo is going to be about the nightlife, not the work schedule.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Because I think we're a ways away before, like going to a live event or going to a bar is something you're just going to settle to at home. So you're going to live in the city because that's where all the cool stuff is. That's why I was in the city anyway, but that's going to become more the norm, right? The other people who don't want to deal with the hustle and bustle, they don't party that much anyway, the suburbanites, they got kids and yada, yada. They're lucky if they get out once a week. This is going to cause an exodus into the suburbs, and it won't be as painful as that exodus would have been in the past because you don't have to worry about hopping on the train, worrying about parking, wear and tear in your car, etc. You're going to telework in, so it's not going to be as big of a hit as it may have been without the telework system out there, right? What's the impact there on investors? Listen, I don't think the condo market, I think people are going to live where they want to live far more often now, because they've got that option. Me personally, my kids are a little older and they're with their mom more than half the time. So for me, just condo dwelling is just where I want to be because I like to party. And that's what it comes down to. Like I'm out there enjoying, the neighborhood nightlife. So we've got a condo on Tejon in downtown Colorado Springs, Colorado. If you're walking down the street in Tejon, which is one of the busiest streets, you can yell. I'm usually up on my balcony and I can wave back, right? I got my guitar, like a little sound stage going the other day. I was playing on the balcony, like 12 people were standing below me.
Hey,
I was
dude,
playing.
that's good, man.
It was badass. It was pretty sick. I was pretty excited about it. Right? That's the objective, right? Is to get to the point where you are in the city because you're doing it for the nightlife. Mm-hmm. As a result, the city has got to make the nightlife super cool.
Okay.
Because if they don't provide for that, if they don't bring in culture and the arts and music and all that stuff, there will be no benefit to staying in the city at all. If the offices are gone and it's just kind of about cool factor, or the offices are there, but you check into the office once a month or whatever, right? So you're not using as much office space. City's going to have to get a cultural change here. That's an advantage. Find the cities, or if you live in a city that's already culturally cool, I'd be looking very heavily at the appreciation of the condo market as that exodus happens. People are going to leave, but a different set of people are going to come in. That new set of people is there for an entirely different reason than the old set of people. It's not utilitarian. It's now fun. Right. You get the condo because it's cool, not because you need to be close to your office.
So you invest in those condos that are close to the coolest things, or, here in Denver, close to light rail stations or different things like that you'll be able to, people see the benefit of living there and being able to get access to that stuff. So that's a good point.
And conveniences, right? Like you just mentioned, the light rail's got to be close by. Do I need to own a car now? Like in New York, owning a car is more of a hassle than it's worth in most cases, right? So people just commute via Uber, cab, and train, right? You want to appeal to those as the cities grow a little bit. That's going to be a great investment. These condos need to be more modern. You got to remember your target market, right? You're generally not selling to old people, right? These things need to be modern, well designed. Get the interior designer on the team. Make sure everybody on the team is looking at the right target demographic. And when you're doing a remodel in a condo, make sure it appeals to that demographic. LED TVs, LED fireplaces, the real long fireplaces, the cool modern design. If you're still designing your stuff to look like grandma's house, it is not going to sell at the top of the market. So that's another skill set you got to develop if you're going to play inner city condo, right? All these things add up to the market's going to change. Those who figure out how to predict that change in advance,
I'm rubbing my crystal ball right now,
are going to make bank if their crystal ball functions. Right? That's the upside and the downside. Are you willing to take the risk on what your prediction says for the market? Thank you, Market Watch, for giving us some semi-obvious stuff that's going to happen. But the reality is if you're not reading market prediction, market news all the time, you just kind of, I'm going to flip until it hurts. You're missing on a huge opportunity to get in front to where the market's going next. Right? And if you're in front to where the market's going next, we saw that the lower end, when Corona saw, right, when first instinct was the whole market's going to go to crap. We just thought it's over, right? The next thing was, man, people are buying way faster, but the lower end's getting so expensive so fast, we better buy those lower end homes and fix them up, right? Because the new builds were way out of whack pricing-wise. They were so expensive it got stupid. So we're looking at that lower end market and going, let's buy the cheapest home we can buy in the neighborhood and fix it up. Now, we did a show recently that talked about how the upper end market is going to suffer as rates increase, but the reality is the gap in the upper end has always been wider because most people don't want to take on a flip at the $600,000, $700,000 bracket and try to get out at $1 million, right? It is definitely going to take longer to sell, so that's going to scare them off even more. Like I said on that show, that means the wholesale price is going to dip a little bit because there are less people willing to take that project on, whereas the retail price is going to slow a bit as this predicted, but it ain't going anywhere. Right? You're getting out in front of the market, predicting what's going to happen next, as opposed to being a victim of the market. In the last big market crash of 2008, I was with everybody else. I was chicken littling it. Basically, the sky is falling. The world as I know it is going to end. I went out and got a job. No, I'm not kidding. That's not a joke. I actually went out and got a job. Why you? No, I'm serious.
You did it to me, bro.
All right, that's fair. I don't want to, I can't even imagine going to that mindset again. So today, I'm predicting what the market's going to happen next. I don't think it's ever going to get bad enough for me to get employed. To be honest, I feel like I'm relatively unemployable. I don't think most people are not going to put up with me inside of their enterprise because I have a tendency to take stuff over. It's who I am.
Donny, why are you making copies for the podcast and recording an episode in the middle of the lunchroom?
Yeah, I got to get some stuff done, man.
Yes, I'm here, man.
When I got the job back in 2008, I got my first paycheck, right? They said to him, it's paycheck. Oh, man, I think you're misunderstood. I've been here for 2 weeks.
Where's the rest of it,
I don't know what this is for, but y'all need to take this back because somebody in accounting screwed up. No, sir, that's 2 weeks. I'm like, oh. I am not going to, I knew I was going to hate this, but it turns out I hate it a lot more than I thought. Real estate market just crashed. I had a Hummer, a Corvette, so I'm pulling up in cars. Nobody, I'm like, nobody in the employment world could afford. Right. Like, man, we're paying you way too much. This wasn't you. Don't be taking credit for some stuff that I did on my own. How dare you? But I had to get out. I knew I wasn't going to stay employable. If you are truly a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, somebody who sees enterprise and wants to work in it, you're probably unemployable. So you don't want the market shift to result in you having to do something you don't want to do. So get out for the market shift. You can make money in good markets, make money in bad markets, make money in sideways markets, but you got to know what market you're in order to know how to react in that marketplace. Right. Don't be a victim of the market, make the market. I single-handedly raised the price of homes in Pikes Peak Park, a little suburb southeast Colorado Springs, by 10%. I promise you that was me. Okay, we did so many flips in that market that I pushed those valuations up. Now that neighborhood, when I was buying back in the day, $80,000, $100,000 homes, I was hoping to sell for $150,000, $160,000. Mm-hmm. Today you can't get a house in there for under $4,000. Right? And I'm going to take credit for at least 10, 20% of that. Because I changed the comps in that market by kept pushing it up, making the houses nicer and nicer and nicer. Yep. And now Pikes Peak Park's where it's at. You're welcome. Right? Be a market maker. Don't be a victim of the market. And we can help you with that. We can help you look at your market, see where the pockets are, and help you to get out in front of it. A lot of this is a mindset thing. You just don't know what to do, so you end up doing nothing. You sit around, you hope for the best. Whether you're an experienced flipper or you're just getting started, once again, there's some step you need to take. And my advice, because I did this myself, is to get a coach who's going to walk you through whatever your market's doing, ideally in real time. Like I can tell you, if you're in a cool spot, like if you're in like Nashville, right? And it's worth it for us to come out there and see your market in person. I love that. That's my favorite part of the gig is we're going to check out a market for a client in Connecticut. In a couple weeks here. I'm excited about traveling and checking it out in person, but we can do the analysis from anywhere. Right. So it's really not a matter of needing to be in your market. The idea is having somebody to help you interpret the data. Right. And whether you stay with us as a long-term coaching client or you just do the program for the minimal amount and then get out, it doesn't matter because you're going to get a new perception. You're paying for information that's going to make you more effective in the market that you're in for the long haul. Right. And that's the whole idea behind this, what the service that we provide. So as always, if you want to take a look at that, reach out to Jonathan Winston. Was at Sir Winston, at Sir.
That's my social media. That's kind of more media stuff or music stuff at Sir John Winston. You can go to our website, foreclosuredealscoach.com. There is a link on the website for an investor assessment call. You click that link, you input your information, and you can schedule a time with me. Once we get the time scheduled, I'll give you a call. We'll go over your goals for what you're looking to do in real estate, discover your big why, kind of your main motivations, talk a little bit maybe about what experience you have. Yep. And then once we do that, we'll get you set up with the time to talk to Donny if we feel like you're a good fit and talk to you about getting your first flip done. So go to foreclosuredealscoach.com. There's going to be a link on every page for that investor assessment call. Click that link and get set up.
I love it. I love it. That's how you get started. So you hop on to foreclosuredealscoach.com, get a call, get assessed, see if this is a good fit for you, and then we'll analyze your market with you, help you do your first deal if that's what you're working on, or if you're in subsequent deals and trying to scale, we want to meet you where you are. You know, that's the whole idea behind the coaching, but every market's a little bit different. You want somebody to help you navigate yours, and that's really what we do. You know, with that, that's our show. I want to try to keep these short and sweet. So go out to foreclosuredealscoach.com, join the Facebook group, reach out to Sir John Winston, check out his media, and let's have some fun, man. It's going to be an incredible summertime. The weather's heating up.
Oh, yeah, I'm loving that.
My wife just bought a Porsche convertible, so like we're going to be cruising the streets of Colorado. Yeah. You see the black Porsche and a cute blonde behind the wheel. Get out of her way.
Please, sir.
She will hurt you. Do you understand that? She's got no problem with running you off the road, so save yourself. I love you, honey, but seriously, you got to slow down. All right, keep tuned in. We got a lot of shows coming at you. Appreciate you guys tuning into the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast. I am your host, Donny Corum, your Foreclosure Deals Coach, reminding you once again, don't buy a house, buy a deal.
Want more of the Foreclosure Deals Coach? Hit subscribe and stay tuned for more of the mindset, methodology, and tools you'll need to invest in foreclosures. Visit foreclosuredealscoach.com and text DEAL to get a list of foreclosures in your area.